Okay. Good afternoon from Sarajevo to all of you. Tourism Education Future TEF project is focused on education in tourism sector. It's a very ambitious and nice project that we are very much enjoying to work in. Tourism Education Future would be impossible without voice of industry, and that's why we invited someone from the industry. And I would like to say special thanks to Belmina Bajrovic, our lecturer today. I know she's busy just as we all busy these days, and she finds some time for us to deliver her masterclass. And I hope and we know we will enjoy it. Belmina, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mirsada, for kind words. Hello, everyone. I hope that you can see my screen because we had some difficulties. I'll probably not be able to see you during my presentation, but I hope you will see me. Federico, everything is okay, right? You can hear me?
Yep.
Just confirm. Thank you. So as Mirsada said, I was invited to present to you today a short presentation from a point of us as a hotelier, so from the other side of the industry. I wanted to make a topic that will be really interesting to discuss for all of us. So today's topic is how to shape raw students into tourism professionals. Since I'm quite young myself, I think I'll be able to give you also some examples and ideas how to make learning more innovative and interesting from a student side, but also as a new manager, hotelier, how to motivate the students and how to make learning way more interesting to them. First of all, this is a short agenda that I made, so I will speak about a little bit about our company as an introduction to the topic. Then I will pass to the tourism industry needs, also what motivates and demotivates students to enter the industry. I will also focus a lot about what do we need from tourism schools, from our personal experience, because each year we have a lot of internship with the high school students from High School of Tourism and Catering. So this is a first-hand insights, what we believe to be disadvantages and how can we improve that. And also the last part will be focused on the tools and examples of innovative learning. So how to make tourism professionals, and I'll be happy to discuss at the end if you think that these tools will be can be easily applied and what are the obstacles. So this is about our company. So I'll be really quick in this part. Our company has a long tradition, over 140 years. It is a family-owned business. So we are a second generation of the owners of this local hotel chain. We've always been famous by the unique design for Hotel Europe. This hotel, the first one on the picture, it is famous by the Austro-Hungarian design. And the second one, the yellow one, is famous by the special Bosnian design, Bosnian architect Ivan Strauss, who designed it, and it was open in the '84 for the Olympic Games. So it holds holds a great value. Both hotels are famous for the central location and also for the high hospitality quality. Some of the awards that I want to mention, just because I believe it is quite connected with the hospitality excellence, because our company stands for the hospitality school, because we do a lot of education as for the staff, as for the students. So some of the awards I would like to mention are Golden Cook in 1977. It's an Italian award, as well as Cannoli and Friends, Il Miglior Dolce. Then the Certificate of Credit Excellence. We were also in the top 100 biggest companies in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We were announced to be best hotels for business travelers by CNBC as well. And the last award for which I'm really proud of is the top 5 most influential hotels in the world by Le Monde magazine Paris. Also, we are awarded as the super brand in the 2023. This is a small introduction about myself and the projects that we are working on. So about me, I finished a double degree program at the Faculty of Economics in Sarajevo in collaboration with Griffith College in Dublin. Then I decided to do my master's degree in Rome in Italy. I was also awarded the 100% scholarship at the executive program in Global Family Business Management. And I believe that this program was really beneficial for me, also because the business we own is a family owned. So they gave us really good examples of the companies that are big giants in the market, but are also family owned business and the ways to success. I had some experience at Evo Collection Hotels in Paris, as well as Florian Weitzer Hotels and Restaurants in Vienna. I worked in these 2 hotel chains, which were my first experience. Regarding the tourism projects, we closely work with the USAID Tourism Academy, USAID, and on the projects Tourism Academy and Profi program. All of the mentioned projects are based on the education of the staff or either education of the students and exchanging experience and internship. We also closely work with the school and universities in Sarajevo. Some of them are High School for Catering and Tourism, International University of Sarajevo. We are closely working with them as well and acting as hosting partner, and we are being present on orientation days where we introduce to the students our company, how do we work, and similar. So mostly with the schools we work in terms of internships, career days, or we are active for fairs for employment where we can present the positions opened and way of work. Since I don't see any of you, I would just like if someone can just let me know that everything is fine. You can hear me.
Everything is going well.
Thank you, Federico. It's just a little bit strange because I cannot see your videos and your faces, but I will continue anyways. So I want to start this presentation by talking a little bit about the decreasing interest in students, decrease in students' interest in tourism careers. As we can all agree on, we all notice that a lot of students are switching their careers and choosing the jobs that are maybe a little bit more flexible, like the IT sector and industry, which is of course a big problem for tourism industry itself. So here I listed some of the factors that can be influencing the decreasing trend of this industry. First of all, I wrote the perception of the industry. This is something that I notice the students, I noticed the way how students perceive the tourism industry when I have interviews with them and when we have meetings about the job opportunities. They all agree that the industry is perceived a little bit demanding, so their fear of long hours or low pay. So this is how the tourism industry is perceived and promoted. Then the second point that I put is lack of awareness. A lot of students do not understand the big opportunity and amount of possibilities inside of tourism careers regarding different roles and positions. This can also be a major problem because they all believe that when you say tourism, it is more for service, but it has a lot of more sectors like management and finance and human resource and similar. The third point I put here is competition from other industries. As I mentioned, the IT, which is taking a lot of personally our staff and our potential employers. On the fourth point, I put the gig economy, which I believe is a high trend currently. So the market opened more for the short-term or temporary jobs like Uber or Glovo, which allow more flexible work and relatively higher pay for part-time jobs. Especially in Bosnia and Herzegovina, students maybe like something like this more, and that is easier because by the law we don't have, we are not allowed to employ the students or the workers for the part-time job. So it's really difficult to manage that. And for students, it's also hard to get work experience in the early age while they are studying because they cannot divide the time. And on the fifth point, I put, of course, the impact of COVID. Unfortunately, I had to mention it because it did affected us a lot. I think the hospitality was one of the top three most affected industries by COVID. So a lot of people.
Belmina, sorry, your microphone just turned off. Please turn it on.
I didn't touch anything.
It worked.
For some reason, it turned off. I'm so sorry. I will continue. And the last point, as I said, is the impact of COVID-19, which affected the market badly. And I think it created a fear in students' mind that the tourism sector and industry is maybe unstable to pursue. On the next slide, I try to put the strategies or the solutions how to solve the previous problems from the previous slide, and how to make the industry to start being trendy and to stop from being unpopular among the young students. So first of all, of course, to improve the industry perception, I think this is something that we have to do together. So to connect the tourism sector, tourism industry, from hoteliers to restaurants, owners, and similar, to with educational institutions, and to try to promote the industry as I like to say, gentleman's business. Because I believe that before it was more appreciated and seemed to be more of a job that is suitable for the educated and people and gentlemen. Also to improve the perception and to make students realize that the industry offers diverse career opportunities and also the chance to travel and the connection with the people. The second point that I put is to offer competitive compensation and benefits. So of course we have to compete with the IT sector, which is being more flexible and maybe is offering more free days of work and more benefits. Third point is to provide training and development opportunities. So more apprenticeships, more internships, and on-the-job training. We are currently working with the USAID regarding the staff training on the job. And I think it really affects the motivation of your current workers as well. As I mentioned, to strengthen the partnership with the educational institutions and to showcase the success stories. I think this point is also really important. Show the success stories of young professionals in order to inspire and motivate young students so that they can see and maybe visualize themselves being on those positions and understand that it takes a lot of points to get to that point. And of course, the last one I wrote, promote work-life balance. So when I started to think about what do we need from tourism schools, and I wanted to be really specific and to give a good examples, I started from the basic things. It is actually what we find to be disadvantages or possible opportunities when we are employing the young students from High School of Tourism and Catering in Sarajevo. So these examples are mostly based on our personal experience that we had with the students and young employees. First of all, it might sound funny, but I would recommend to include the soft skills subject. So I realized that a lot of students that come to work with us, they do not have a really good communication skills, as well as the emotional intelligence and how to actually approach the customer and how to analyze the customer and to realize which type of customer you're talking with. So I here put an example of the exercises with role play. So included in this subject, you can do like a customer versus waiter situation and how to behave. Like if there is a problem, how to solve it, what is the tone you have to use all the time and similar. The second point I put include etiquette course. We also noticed that a lot of students that come from this type of tourism high schools do not have good manners. So they are, let's not say badly mannered, but we have to spend a lot of time just working on this part with them. So for us, it's time consuming because we would like to have a finished product when they start to work with us. So in this, I think that from how to walk, how to talk and behave with the customer, and it can also be used for practical exercises in class. For example, I put here how to treat madam versus gentleman. So this is a basic example, but it's really important, like from taking codes to serving. If madam has, if you will serve the madam first or the gentleman, to offering the chair and similar. The third point is to include mandatory English language course. For us, this is also quite an obstacle that we have to go through with our students, because a lot of them do not know how to speak English, even the basic one. And here I suggested even to do English language that is more focused on the tourism situations and vocabulary use. So if it's food and beverage sector, to be able to know all the ingredients in English and how to explain the way of cooking or preparing a meal to a customer. So this is really important part as well. The fourth point I put to include career days. As already mentioned, this is something that I had during my education as well, also on my bachelor degree in Ireland, but also in Rome in Italy. The faculty included career days like monthly. They would bring the best Italian companies at our university. We would have a chance to speak with them, to exchange some experiences, to ask them questions. So it was really interactive and really interesting for us, and it kind of gives you a better image of the job that you want to do. And on the fifth point, I put to include social media challenges. I know that a lot of schools and colleges are now dealing with the problem of young students using the mobile phones and technology too much during the lectures. I actually heard the other day on the news in Sarajevo that a lot of elementary schools are going to forbid the usage of mobile phones during the school time, because it just takes a lot of attention from the young children and students. But I think in this sense, it can give like a more interesting way of learning to the students. When I was on my master's degree, we had a marketing challenge, and it was a challenge about who will make the best ad for Coca-Cola. and we had to use only social media accounts, so TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. It can get really interesting and innovative, and the students really loved it. For us, it was really interesting to do something like this. So I strongly recommend TikTok or video to be included as a marketing way of learning. But also YouTube videos can be used for different tutorials from the side of professors. We also had a lot of those during my studies, where this professor would film themselves doing the different tutorials, so explaining something, a lecture to us, and then sending it through in a format of video. So this was really interesting and different kind of learning. So it attracted us more in that way. Here I came to the examples of innovative learning also from my personal experience. I wanted to focus on the three most innovative or interesting learning ways personally for myself. First one is project-based learning that I wanted to highlight. So it's basically when you're working on the case studies and projects for a specific company. For instance, at my master's degree at my university, we had a project to do for a Procter & Gamble company. We had a specific project to do for Pampers diapers, where we would prepare specific metrics or statistical analysis for them. Since I finished marketing, statistics, and metrics, these are my examples, but of course it can be applied for hospitality sector and tourism, so that it is more more suitable for the students from tourism and hospitality sector. Why I liked this kind of learning is because the best projects that graded were implemented and awarded. So it kind of gave us micro-credentials feeling, and also it gave us the feeling of identifying with the professionals or the, let's say, role models, because the owners and the managers of the Procter & Gamble company would come to us, present their company, and ask us to make their job better, more successful. So we were all proud to do something like this for them, and very happy at the end with the award as well. The second one is activity-based learning, also based on my personal experience. We had an organizational issues subject, which is basically people management practices. In the beginning, we were all asking, why are we even having this subject, because it seemed strange to us. But then through different exercises during the class, we realized how interesting the subject is and how valuable to any department this subject can be. We had an exercises where we were split in groups by departments. For example, one group was kitchen, one group was reception, the other one was bar, etc. We had to access various organizational designs and structures and to choose an appropriate setup for our firm. We had to analyze the coordination issues that we might have encountered, and to make appropriate suggestions for solving the organizational problems. I think this kind of subject or the exercise inside a school or a college is really important, because it gives a sense of teamwork, but also leadership and organization. And it allows us to relive a real life situation, because we had to work as a team, and we had to agree who will be chef of the kitchen, sous chef, who will work the first shift, who will work the second one. So it was really interesting, but also we had a feeling of how it's going to be when we have our responsibilities at the work. The third point is simulation-based learning. Here I mentioned Masterclass simulation or SESM hospitality simulation. The simulation is an online, let's say, game where you play for the field that you're interested in. Personally, I worked on Masterclass simulation on my master's degree, because it is specifically for marketing department. This one is more for higher education, so I think it will be definitely too demanding for the high school students, but it is also more for the marketing. But I still wanted to present it to you as an example of a good and innovative learning way, because it left a lot of impact on myself. In this simulation, the participants manage the marketing division of a large company and compete against other competitors at the market. It helps students to master the revenue and management concepts to acquire the right attitude, behavior, and mindset. This simulation can be used individually or in a small teams, and duration can be either 1 semester or intensive for a few days course for a corporate usage more. In our case, it was over the course of a semester, and it was actually as an individual subject. It was really interesting to us because through this simulation, we realized how much we don't know, because in theory we learned a lot about different financial things and financial reports and how to manage the company. But at the end, a lot of students had a company that were not profitable at the end. Here I left the link if you want to check it for the later, but I want to focus today more on the SESM hospitality, because I think this will be more interesting to you, just in case you want to include it maybe in your curriculum. SESM service or a SESM hospitality simulation, so they have 2 simulations inside of hospitality field. This one is more for high school students. It is an interactive and fun learning environment. I didn't have, unfortunately, chance to work on SESM simulation, but I did schedule a meeting with them a few days ago, just get more information to be able to present to you more details. Also, I left here a link for you that you can check later. So this simulation is showing a hotel that has 140 rooms. So you can work either only in a hotel or only in a restaurant, or you can do combined hotel with restaurant attached. Decisions include revenue management, sale promotion, but most importantly, food and beverage, housekeeping, staff management, and procurement. So you play this as a game in a group of people. The minimal number of members inside one group is 2, but you can have up to 8 members, and you can have up to 12 teams. The professor gives the deadline of how long should this simulation be played. So if you want one round to last 1 week, you can put your deadlines as you wish. This one I really liked because I think it can offer students another perspective of how to manage business tomorrow when they finish the high school and when they start to look for a job. But it's also really interactive and fun way to do it. Also, it is available in different languages. Here I put, I think, maybe 6, 7, but they told me through the phone that they have 24 languages available. So the simulation is available in 24 different languages. And I also asked them about the license costs for both simulation, Markstrat and SESM simulation. The license is needed. Markstrat simulation is a little bit expensive. It is about around 60 euros per person. But SESM hospitality simulation is much available for high schools and colleges. The maximum cost is 30 euro per student, but they told me that if you want to make like a partnership with them, and if you want to include the SESM simulation in your curriculum, the price could they could give you a discount. So the price varies, but the maximum price per student is around 30 euro, which I believe can be quite in accordance with the universities or colleges budget. The last example of a good learning way also coming from a personal experience, is a business plan development. This is something I did actually on my bachelor degree, but I think it can also be good if you do it as well in the high school or colleges later. So the business plan is actually a preparation and creation of the plan of your business idea. So you choose the business that you want to create and do, and you actually write the full business plan for it. So from the costs, the forecasting, the budgeting, and everything you have to do. For example, since we were living in that time in Ireland, I did a business plan for gluten-free pizzeria because of the bestial allergy problems in Ireland. So I had to do the full research, from the interviews, focus groups, and surveys directly with the owners of different health shops, different restaurants, to finding the specific equipment, chairs, and furniture that I want to put in the restaurant. Also, we had to find the real location for the rent, and all that with the limited budget. So it was quite intensive exercise, let's say like that. They also allowed us to take a credit, for example, from the bank, but then you had to like sign a contract with the bank and to see all the terms and regulations that you have under that contract. The benefits of the business plans, the business plan is the real life practice example. It really offers a unique experience to students and learn and shows the way how to learn to create an effective strategy for growth, and also how to determine your future financial needs. The business plan itself at the end is used to attract investors, because you end up with a formal business plan and a pitch to your future potential investors. I also believe that we are lacking through our education a lot of this practical plans and exercises, because these are the moments when you realize how much you don't know, and how everything is different in a real life. When you have to decide if you're going to open a stock company or partnership company, then you really have to know what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of them in real life, because in theory it's much different than how it is when you are faced with your real business. And at the end, I just put a small quote saying that technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, it's transformational. And I left a slide which says Q&A, so question and answers and discussion time. I would like you to share your thoughts about the presentation, and to maybe share with me what do you believe that are the main obstacles, if there are some, in order to achieve some of the mentioned ideas or propositions, and how can you apply it? Will this be something easy for you? Do you already have some of these examples included in the curriculum and similar? Thank you so much for your attention. I'm so happy to be back and to be able to see you all. Okay, I'm back.
Thank you, Belmina. And I think you can also stop sharing the screen so we
Yes,
can.
sorry.
And I don't know, there is someone else who want to add something or maybe comment on the presentation. In the meantime, I would like to ask you if you can share the whole presentation, but also the links of the two platforms you presented in the chat, maybe, so it's easier to check them out.
I will.
Yeah, I thought very interesting the presentation, the practices, and maybe I lost some information, but in the age of the students where you apply those methodologies, is it was a mixed group of students in terms of age, or more younger students? I mean, where is possible to apply such innovative methodologies from your experience?
Well, all of the methods and examples in the presentation. Sorry, yes. So all of the examples I think can be applied for high school students. I believe that most of you are high school tourism and hospitality schools or colleges. So everything can be applied except for the Markstrax simulation, which is a program that I believe it's for higher education, since we did it on my master degree. So it's definitely more demanding because it requires a knowledge basis about the financial reports in order for students to understand if the company was successful at the end. But the SESM hospitality, I will be happy to share the email of the sales representative to whom I spoke with. I can send that maybe to Mirsada. Maybe she can share with all of you because they're really interested to offer you really good price if you want to include this simulation in your curriculum as well. Other practices as including the English language, etiquette course, or social skill subject or course, I think it can be applied even from elementary school. It is something that should be, I think, applied from early ages. But I would like to hear from your side if you have something like that already applied. Do you think it is a good idea? Something like that, just to share some experience.
Teachers, the floor is yours. I'm an international coordinator. I cannot say anything on that.
Just to be clear, Belmina, because I'd like to react as a teacher, but your question is whether I think whether the platforms that you presented about are useful for us in education. That's what your question is, right?
Yes, and if the
Yeah.
practices as including different English subject and etiquette course is fine for you, do you think it's that you can do it, or what would stop? Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, definitely think it's a good way of getting students in the simulating environment, and to get them to um, 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 the most that comes near to what you as professionals work with. And if we can provide them with programs, with tools that they are going to use, and they can make an easy transfer to what they'll do when as soon as they start working for you, then it will be great. And I think it also has a lot of potential because of you can add all the meaning of the knowledge for the languages, for instance, because over in Holland, maybe the English language isn't the most important language to learn, but it's more down to German, because we have a lot of German holidaymakers coming to Holland, for instance. So, but if you can add all those language, or all those the tasks to the program, and you can simulate a lot more, then I think it's very useful. We already make use of some booking programs as well in our education, so it's not completely new, right? But I like the fact that it's also teams who challenge each other, and that's interesting, I think, for us as teachers to see what's going on with teams that are competing against each other, because that was also part of the program, right, Belmina?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting, because the programs we have just as of now don't have that. So that's something new for me that might be interesting for us as well. So thanks for that.
Thank you so much on your feedback.
Yes, I would like to add a question to that. I'm a colleague of Hayo, by the way. Would it be possible to set up such so simultaneous sessions with, for instance, students from other vet schools from other countries, and that they can compete together? And also, do these systems offer the possibility to have conversations with each other in a foreign language?
I'm not sure about the SaaS and hospitality, because as I mentioned, I personally didn't work in this one, in Markshak simulation, but I do believe they are similar. There was no conversation meaning like this, like it was not able, we were not able to text or video record or FaceTime or something like that, because it was done in person. So we would had in-class activities where we would be separated in groups and then work together. But it doesn't have to include, it doesn't have to be in class. You can, of course, work from home, work together, work while you're on FaceTime and do. But inside the program, I don't think that there is ability to chat. I saw that on Sesim there is a lot of interesting ways. You can like put different files or articles that you want others to read, and you can leave like small notes. So I think that is also like really, and regarding your question, if other can access from different countries, I think for sure, because you only need the access code that the professor will provide. But still, I'm not an expertise in this simulation, so I'm not designer of it or owner. So I think it would be better if I could share a contact and a brochure, because I do have a downloaded brochure about it. So you can learn more and get in contact. But I think they are really happy to collaborate with school, because I realized that they really have a sharing passion for the education. So their goal is not, I think, to earn a lot of money and to sell the product, but also to help the schools to increase the education. So I think you will be happy with them. Just, I mean, I don't know, but I think because I had a few phone calls with them, they're really available and happy to help. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Can I ask another question, Belmina? Because
Yes.
you said that with working in the industry, but we're also working with youngsters and with with trainees, for instance, that you spend a lot of time getting them to or introducing to them what manners are used in the industry. And you said that you've come up with some examples. I recognize this very much as for our culture, right? But do you also recognize that, and then maybe it's also a question to other participants in this workshop, but um, they youngsters nowadays tend to listen to you as a professional, and if you tell me to do so, then all right, yeah, that's it. I believe you. That's the manners that I need to use. And we also try to train them in our college, and with the way they address themselves to teachers, the way they address themselves to new people. They introduce themselves. They start with Mrs. But in the end of the day, they will say, "You're a teacher. I'm in school. Just learn me something." And this is the professional, and the professional is the one who tells me what I need in my profession. So there's, I don't know if other people recognize this, that and therefore I think it's all this project-based learning. What we also are implementing in Holland very much is what this gives us as well is the chance to for instance, my students are going to do a project for you, Belmina, and you can make them. And that's I think it's something that we need to do together. So that's I see a lot of my colleagues, they are struggling with getting students to getting the respect or getting the trust from the students that you as a teacher actually know what it's like to be working in this profession. No, they want to hear it from you, Belmina. So therefore, I hope that very I'm something that I talk about with companies in Holland a lot as well, that we have to collaborate together and make sure that we do this. This is the voice, like you said, the voice of the industry. This is also the voice of the industry that we have to do together, and it's something that something teachers struggle a lot with.
Yeah, so I had to mention that because it really is something that we have to work with. So the manners and way of behaving. So we always encourage formal way of speaking even between themselves. So I think it is of course different when they're in school and they are more in a friendly zone, and then when they come to a professional, maybe I will be more strict, and maybe I don't know if you wanted to say this, but I understood it as you are saying that they would maybe listen to us more, something like that. But I do think that both professors and like supervisors or bosses are the leaders. So we should both have strong leadership skill in a way to show them that, as you said, we all went through it, but there are things that they have to go through, and that they have to respect in order to work with us and similar. Also, I do believe in the good leaders and how the leaders can affect the students' motivation and how they can increase the passion for the tourism. I'm always talking about the passion because I think it's the main thing. You have to understand each customer and you have to approach them with a lot of empathy and to leave your ego aside. So it's a demanding job, but I think it's a unique job. So something that cannot be changed with any technology, and the one that gives the most emotion and connection. So direct communication between the customer and client. But yes, thank you for the feedback. And I do think, and I mentioned in my presentation, that only with the strong collaboration and work with the educational institutions, we can do this together. And I would like to bring the, let's say, all the manners and traditional way of behaving, because I see that as the generations are growing and the new one are coming, or it might be just my observation that they pay less attention to the manners, respecting the elderly. So these are just some challenges that we are facing currently. So
yeah.
Thank
Agree.
you.
What we take for granted is not that easy anymore nowadays.
Yes.
What used to be normal in the way we collaborated or worked together, or is not that normal anymore. So
yes, that's why I said maybe it's funny to mention that, but it's just basic manners and etiquette, just to know how to behave. And yes,
it's become part of our lives. Yeah. To pay attention to it. Yeah. Thank you, Belmina.
Thank you so much.
Question like a tip for schools. Which is the best way to get company actively involved in education, in classes, in those kind of challenges, project works or activities? Because this, I think, is the most difficult thing, not to have really company engaged in education, and so to have the company view on that, it will be very helpful for us to approach them and to structure better work-based learning activities.
Yes, I just wanted to add, when I was studying in Rome, I really say only the best about the Luis Guido Carli Master University, because they really paid a lot of attention to the companies they work with, and they connected us with the companies. And a lot of my friends, they were mostly Italians, but still they ended up working for the Italian companies that came and presented their jobs to us. So it's a win-win situation for both university and the companies, and it also it is good in a terms that they share the local business. So they support local companies, as I mentioned, Procter and Gamble, and I really like their way of working. So that is why I also mentioned that, because in Bosnia we don't do that a lot, but I am positive that we will start doing more and more, and also with the help of International University of Sarajevo, maybe the School of Business and Economics and High School of Tourism. We don't need much, like a few of the educational institutions and a few of the biggest companies, and I think we'll be able to copy the things that our other countries already doing.
Hayo, you have raised your hands. Do you want to add something?
Yes, it comes down to relationships. If your relationship with your former school is good, then you're happy to tell next generation of students of how your life has turned out to when you work in the industry. So that's what we do a lot, is we are a lot in contact with our former students who work in the industry, and because we do so, companies are interested to collaborate. Because they see the enthusiasm of youngsters growing. So if you can start off with your former students, then it's an easy way to get this collaboration with the industry going.